Hello, welcome back to Fierce Entertainment. This time for my first time review, in cinema review, of 2019's, I guess I think that's what it says. Yep, 2019's The Curse of La Llorona. Or La Llorona. Curse of La Llorona. Yeah, The Curse of La Llorona. Alright, I've only seen this film theatrically, at home. I watched it on my own projector before I got this one from my friend, which is a way better one. And of course, when I watched it for this review. Well, The Curse of La Llorona. Well, first time I watched this movie, I liked what I saw. Alright, I'll be honest, I really thought it was a much better film than a lot of people thought. But upon watching it the second time, I did start noticing all of the bad things that everybody was actually talking about when it comes to this movie. And we'll go ahead and get into that. We're going to do something a little different this time. We're not going to give my opinion completely in the first 5 minutes. We're actually going to talk about the plot of the movie. Get that done with, so I can take a lot more time on my opinion. Alright. The main characters in this movie basically are a mom and her two children, a daughter and a son. The son's the oldest, the daughter's the youngest. They suffered a tragedy with the mom's husband dying in the line of duty because he was a police officer. And I believe this film takes place in 1976. And basically, she's a caseworker for child services. And what she's doing is basically this. She's called to investigate the lack of communication with one of the clients. And so she goes to the house to discover that it's been barricaded, the kids are locked up with no food or water, have not been communicating with the outside world for a while. And so she takes the kids into custody and of course gets them away from the mom and puts them in child services. And of course the kids are like, leave us alone and stuff like that. Please close the door because they're locked in a closet. And basically, while they're at the hospital or child services, whatever that building that they were at is, they hear noises, see a shadowy figure of pretty much the La Llorona. The La Llorona, yeah, the shadow of La Llorona. And basically, like it does in the mythology, they follow her, and then she drowns him in water. Just like the mythology is. Now, what's interesting about this movie is this is based on a real, actual mythology, before we go into the rest of the plot of the film. The real mythology of this, which the movie is based off of, is a real-life, actual urban legend of Mexican tradition. Basically, in the 1800s, there was this woman by the name of La Llorona. And basically, she was loved with a aristocrat. The aristocrat and her had four beautiful children. And the aristocrat husband took a liking to a younger woman. And La Llorona drowned and murdered all four of her children before drowning herself. And legend has it that she visits mistreated children, or troubled children, and she weeps and cries out for help. And when children try to attend to help her, she devours the children by drowning them. So it's like a morality thing. And of course, the mythology is known as the Weeping Woman mythology. It's a real urban legend, like Bloody Mary or something like that. Now on to the remaining plot of the movie. So, when she goes to, of course, the scene of the two children being dead and drowned to death, the mom's there in custody. She's blaming the caseworker. You let her get them. And she's like, who? The Llorona. Or, sorry, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty much not pronouncing it correctly, but Llorona. Meanwhile, while that's going on, her son sees the Llorona, and the Llorona takes a liking to the son. So obviously, Llorona wants to devour her son. Not just the supernatural villain, obviously, and basically, then the daughter at some point goes ahead and sees the Llorona. Then they're both targeted by the sinister evil, and then she goes to the church, and this is where we go see Father Perez. Father Perez actually was the priest that helped our two main characters in Annabelle. So this does tie into that. Like I said, all these films tie into each other. This is probably what does tie into their films. It's only really his character. Of course, he talks about the Annabelle dolls, how I used to be skeptical about supernatural forces, and then one day, but I will not help you, I will send you to somebody else. So, a man who used to be a priest is now a Sharnim. I think that's how you pronounce it. Pretty much what Mexican people would call wish doctors or wish healers or some shit like that. He helps them, and they battle it out with Llorona. And what's interesting is how they eventually kill the Llorona is by breaking her mirror image in the mirror, as well as stabbing her with I forgot what it was. Like I said, this movie was kind of forgettable, and I'll get to that. But yeah, they vanquished the Llorona by stabbing it with something and breaking his mirror image in a mirror. Alright. Now, the good, bad, and the ugly. The good of this movie is it does have a shock value. The Llorona is a very intimidating monster. I would say almost as intimidating as the nun. But does not have the potential that the nun has. I mean, Valak is a character that you could make a lot of movies off of, and it would never lose its value. The Llorona is not a character like that. But the Llorona was very freaky and creepy and very well constructed to freak you out when you actually see her in the movie. It's very, very good in that regard. The gore in this movie is not really all that good. There's not really any in it. I say this is the most watered down movie in the entire franchise. Granted, there's deaths in the movie, but they're not that big. This depends more on jump scares and more on creeping terrifying stuff, and it's all cheap because, like I said, there's no gore in this movie. This is the one Conjuring universe film that really doesn't have any gore in it. There wasn't much gore in Annabelle Comes Home either, but there was some rated R material in there. This film, on the other hand, The Curse of La Llorona, does not feel like an R-rated movie. It feels like they could have made this movie PG-13, which of course brings us into the bad, obviously. Watered down, PG-13, almost like quality of a movie, although it is rated R. And that's something I just don't really like about this movie, is that I agree with a lot of people when it says to this is where it gets to where you get to the ugly. This film takes place in Los Angeles. And why that makes no sense is because unless you know a Mexican friend, or you know about Mexican culture, you probably don't have any idea who La Llorona or the Legend of the Weeping Woman actually is. Now, I have heard it because in the small town that I lived in for a long time, there was a similar legend to La Llorona. It actually might have been just somebody's editor take on the La Llorona. But yeah, I knew about it. But not many people in the world know about this mythology because it's a Mexican mythology. And so I agree with the world of critics when they say this film should have been filmed in Mexico City and it should have been a Mexican movie. Granted, obviously with people speaking English and American Hollywood made, but take place in Mexico, it would have made more sense. This is La Llorona. La Llorona is a Mexican boogeyman monster mythology. Why not have it filmed over there? But yeah. In all those films, the monster in it is pretty freaky. I say that the monster is probably the only thing that's really good about this movie is the monster. Everything else is all over the place and very cheap compared to the other films. Much more character development and stuff in the other films. So this is the weakest link of the Conjuring universe so far. I would definitely agree with that. Well, audio and video quality. Unlike Annabelle Creation, I'll take it back. I just mixed up a little bit. Unlike The Nun. This is a newer Conjuring Universe installment that actually has very good Dolby Atmos sound. Of course, this one, it's mostly when there's a lot of good stuff going on in the movie. But there's a lot of good use of Atmos effect in this movie, unlike The Nun. And I keep bringing that up just because The Nun had so many things that could have taken really good use of Dolby Atmos technology, and then they didn't. All the other ones that have Dolby Atmos have. Certainly isn't the best one. Neither is Annabelle Creation, but it's better than The Nun when it comes to the audio. The video, again, very nostalgic looking. This one spreads more towards being warm temperature than anything else. And deliberately they make it look retro with the type of cinematography. So there is, on purpose, there's fuzziness and grain on the screen. And the picture seems slightly out of focus, but that's actually because the movie was filmed that way. To feel like a 1970s film. So yeah, the picture is still pretty good though, but it really pays off on the audio. And that's all there is to say about 2019's The Curse of La Llorona. We'll see you guys next time for the final Conjuring Universe film. But first, I forgot one little thing. Theatrical. I watched it twice on two different projectors.